on today's all-new Total Recall with Jasper and Friends.
You don't really want to mess with that dude
No.
and have a crazy off, especially when
No.
he has a gun.
It's kind of like having a rap battle with Kendrick Lamar.
The girl is like, there's something out there, and they're like, no, you're too emotional, It's a Russian. And so the whole movie, they're like, no, it's a Russian.
Guys, that's why a woman can't be president.
So,
Nukes off a cliff.
nukes off a cliff. Nukes off a cliff. Wife's dead. Ed Harris is swimming her back to
Yeah.
the
Like,
ship.
fuck. Just keep swimming.
You're right. I can't talk like that without warning the kids first. So hey kids, fair warning, today's episode fucking rocks! Welcome back to Total Recall. Today on the show, we're going deep. Deep like an Instagram caption quoting Robert Frost, deep. Deep like the bag of one Jamal Crawford, deep. Because today, my friends, we head to the abyss. And joining me on our journey, returning for his second appearance, the lethal letterbox shooter himself, it's Patrick!
Wow, what an introduction. Hello.
Hello, Patrick.
Greetings to the audience.
Unlike last season, Patrick is not alone. He's brought along his better half, the diamond, to his rough. It's Liv!
Hello.
Liv, you're going to want to speak up a little bit louder.
Hi.
There you go. And our intern today, also making his first appearance of season 2, is Ross.
Hello, it's me.
Now, Ross, you've had an interesting day. What were you doing before this?
I was drawing preserved cadavers at the Weill Cornell Medical Institute.
I just wanted to get that on the record so everyone else could have
Yeah.
the same reaction I just had.
Just to be clear, none of us had a part in that.
No, that's all my doing. It's a drawing class. I'm not just a weirdo.
No, you're not. Just a weirdo. Ross, have you seen the film The Abyss?
I have not seen The Abyss.
Okay, well, in a few minutes, Pat, Liv, and I are going to try our best to spoil all of it for you, but in the meantime, it is time for their softball question. So as we'll discuss, The Abyss depicts a twist-filled journey into the unexplored underbelly of the ocean. So my question for the two of you is this. Forced to choose, would you rather descend into the depths of the deep sea or ascend upwards towards the stars?
Oh.
So basically, sea or space.
Yeah.
Which one are you trying to explore?
I think I'm going to follow in McConaughey's footsteps and go interstellar, you know? Go spacebound.
Spacebound?
I would say space.
You're
I don't-
scared of the
I
ocean.
don't trust the ocean.
I'm
I don't
also
like- I
scared
don't
of
like
the
water.
ocean. It's not the water for me. For me, it's the fish in the water.
It's also, we don't know anything about the ocean or
No.
the depths, and we know so much more about space.
I feel like the Ocean Gate submersible crisis.
Absolutely.
You know, billionaires can go down there. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's weird if you were to have like $1 billion and spend it all on trying to go down to see a ship that sunk. Feels like a weird way to spend your money,
Yeah.
but that's just me.
I mean, I already learned all I need to know about the shipwreck from James Cameron, so
That's
you
true.
know.
Well, it's actually a good point because after the submersible thing exploded, James Cameron did this whole press tour where he was like, actually, deep sea diving is safe. These people were morons and cut corners, and we all said they sucked.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
if James Cameron was in your submersible, I'd trust it. But other than that, I'm out.
Oh, man. Ross, do you have an opinion?
No, my dad has a friend who actually went down in that Ocean Gate submersible 2 times to see the Titanic.
Wait, the one that exploded?
The one that exploded.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
the very same. He made it out, thankfully. He did an interview on TV about it or something. His name's Mike Reese. He was a writer for The Simpsons.
Down.
That was just a series of great facts.
Yeah, great fact.
That was a crazy
What,
week.
what did he say on the interview? Was he just like,
He said-
those suckers?
He said, yeah, they actually had it piloted with like a GameCube controller, and
Nice.
you know, it was really sketchy. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's... Whew, okay, well, I'm going to follow that up with a set of more fun facts for you. So, The Abyss is a 1989 science fiction adventure starring Ed Harris, Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio, and Michael Biehn. It was written and directed by the King, James Cameron. Now, For those unfamiliar with James's Gameses, let me break it down for you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. James's Gameses made me giggle a lot last night. In the history of film, only 6 movies have grossed more than $2 billion worldwide, and our guy James has directed 3 of them. Do we know what 3 those are? Avatar is 1.
The big Titanic.
That's 2.
Avatar 2.
There you go. All 3, we got it. It's more widely known as Avatar: The Way of Water, but we'll accept Avatar too. Avatar: The Way of Water is one of the best movies ever made. Just saying.
Ooh, high praise.
You disagree?
I have yet to view.
No.
I know.
That sucks. I have it. It's right down there on my Blu-ray shelf. It's the Avatar with the white, not the Avatar with the blue casing. Anyway, before all the success, Cameron was a young special effects supervisor on a little film called Piranha 2: The Spawning. Seen it?
Nope.
Have we?
I think we've seen it.
You've seen Piranha 2: The Spawning?
We recently did a
We did a Piranha
watch.
watch, but I
Oh.
can't remember if that was part of the main lore. We did no, because we went to Piranha Double D.
That sounds like us.
I think Piranha Double D
No,
was
it
the
was-
sequel to Piranha 3D.
We did
right?
both of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Piranha
So we
Double D
skipped.
might have been the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
It was.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a very funny title, though. Piranha 2: The Spawning is from the 70s, so it's not the same Piranha franchise. There's a reboot.
Okay. Then maybe we missed it.
But much like the name suggests, production on Piranha 2: The Spawning did not go swimmingly. Director Miller Drake was fired in the middle of filming, and our guy Jim was given the opportunity to jump into the big chair. When asked why producers chose him, Cameron recalled a spaceship he designed for the film Battle Beyond the Stars. He said, quote, "I built a model for the main character's ship. It was a very goofy design, a spaceship with tits. Hopefully, the one and only spaceship with tits. I guess that's why I got Piranha 2. I guess the producers figured the guy who came up with the spaceship with tits must be able to do something with a flying piranha." End quote. Any thoughts on that quote?
Whew. Our boy Jim is one hell of a guy.
You're so
He's
right.
one hell of a guy.
I did a lot of reading on James Cameron interviews because he is a wild person and he talks like a 5-year-old boy mixed with like a 7-year-old man who's conquered the world. So
I think that's the perfect mix.
he
you
still
know?
likes action figures and boobs, but he also is telling you I'm right and you're wrong definitively.
respect.
Pretty cool stuff. Producers ended up regretting their choice despite that rock-solid logic, and control was taken away from Cameron after 3 weeks of work. He subsequently disowned the film, but it's still his first official directed by credit. Cameron took it all as a learning experience. He said, quote, "When I got back from Piranha 2, I knew that I was never going to get offered another movie unless I came up with something myself. I had to write a film." And that ethos builds The Terminator. Ross, do you have an impression of the Terminator? I feel like you got an Arnold in your bag.
I'll be back.
That's pretty good.
Thank
It's better. You got an Arnold?
Not better than that.
That's fair. I went to Ross first. That was my mistake.
Ah.
Get to the chopper.
Ah.
I watched Predator recently. You seen Predator?
Which one? The most recent one?
The first one.
Oh, the
With
first
Arnold, where they do the big handshake with the muscles, and it's like, ooh.
Oh, heck yeah.
You seen that gif?
I've seen that gif.
It's a good gif.
Unity.
Exactly right. Cameron writes the script and sells it to producer Gale Ann Hurd, and the pair form quite the connection. Their connection is so strong, in fact, that the two get married in 1985, which brings us to The Abyss, a movie inextricably linked to their marriage. So Ross, before we get into this, a key thing you need to understand about The Abyss is our guy Jim's going through a divorce.
Ooh.
It's not even subtext, it's just text right there.
Okay.
And his divorce is to producer Gale Ann Hurd. But Gale Ann Hurd is not the only person James pisses off during the production of The Abyss. Everyone involved talks about it as if they went through a war. Said Cameron, quote, "I knew this was going to be a hard shoot, but even I had no idea just how hard. I don't ever want to go through this again," end quote.
I've heard it had a storied past and that nobody looks at it kindly.
I look at it very kindly, but I don't look at the shoot because I wasn't there. 40% of all live-action photography for The Abyss required one or more actors to be underwater. So they built 2 giant water tanks for the movie, the larger of which was 55 feet deep and 209 feet across, capable of holding 7.5 million gallons of water, a freshwater record at the time. So just like try to picture that in your head, and then remember they built it for a movie, like not even for a real purpose.
That's what makes the big bucks.
Sure does. That's what makes Jim Cameron Jim Cameron. Yes.
Sorry, James. It's funny.
Thank you. On the first day of shooting, though, the tank sprung a leak, and 150,000 gallons of water came out every single minute until they plugged the leak. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of the production. The cast and crew worked 6-day, 70-hour weeks for 6 months on an isolated, water-filled set. And here are some quotes I pulled from the actors. Leo Burmester said, quote, "Shooting The Abyss was the hardest thing I've ever done. Jim Cameron is the type of director who pushes you to the edge, but he doesn't make you do anything he wouldn't do himself." Others were less diplomatic. Lead actress Mastri Antonio had a complete breakdown on set and at one point stormed off and yelled at Cameron, "We are not animals," end quote.
Wow.
So anyone at your workplace ever say something like that?
Daily.
Daily.
Yes. I work with
Yikes.
family.
What about
though,
you?
So
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, work these days is pretty tough.
Yeah.
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 You know, shout out to all those unemployed people out there.
Shout about.
Keep on trucking.
I'm going to put that on like a poster.
Yeah. It's inspiration.
Keep on trucking. Harris, kind of the only big movie star who we still know who's in this movie, said, "One day we were all in our dressing rooms and people began throwing couches out of the windows and smashing the walls. We just had to get our frustrations out," end quote. Once the movie was released, the cast completed their contractual obligations to talk about the movie, and Harris said, quote, "I'm never talking about it and never will," end quote. And that's the last quote we have from him about this movie that he's really good in.
this is Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Like RoboCop.
Maybe? Like Truman Show.
Oh yes. Okay.
I didn't know that was Ed Harris's go-to identifier, RoboCop.
Yeah. I don't even know. No, that's Peter Weller.
I typically
I'm
go
wrong.
National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets,
That's a good
Truman
pull.
Show. was
where
for me.
where him and Nicolas Cage's Ben Gates kind of are two rival treasure hunters, you know? But he's got a bad uncle and never mind. His leading lady, Ed Harris's leading lady, said something similar, quote, "The Abyss was a lot of things. Fun to make was not one of them. But after 140 days of shooting and nearly a year of post-production, The Abyss is released on August 9th, 1989, and goes on to gross $90 million at the global box office. And later that year, Cameron puts pen to paper on his second, but definitely not last, divorce."
Ooh.
All
Wow.
right. And on that note, it's time to play Total Recall. Are you guys excited? Are you feeling ready?
I think we're ready. It's going to be a journey
It is
to
gonna be a
recall this
journey.
one.
This movie is 2 hours and 50 minutes long, so Pat and Liv are getting an extra 5 minutes.
Oh, thank God.
Ross,
Yes.
today you are our intern. It is your job to take notes as Pat, Liv, and I recall the plot. We will endeavor to do so in a manner that's easy to follow, but if at any point you are confused, lost, tired, hungry, or just miss the sound of your own voice, you can call.
Cut.
When you call cut, the clock will stop. You'll take your hands off the keyboard and we'll have a minute to sort out the confusion. You are allowed 3 cuts per episode, so use them wisely. And I will be monitoring the doc to make sure big things aren't getting missed. Do you understand these rules as I've explained them to you?
Yes.
Pat and Liv, you and I will, the 3 of us and I will have 30 minutes to describe the plot of The Abyss as best we can remember. When we're finished, we'll compare our summary to Wikipedia's. Just like last year, each plot point is worth a maximum of 2 points. New this season, each character's name is an additional point of extra credit. If you earn 70% of the total points available, you will move on to round 2 and force me to watch a movie of your choosing. Do you understand these rules as I've explained them to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And as always, the team with the highest score at the end of round one will receive 2 dozen cookies courtesy of Mom in the Mail. Bow, 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 bow.
Mama.
All right, let's get 35 minutes on the clock. Thank you very much. And the countdown starts in 3, 2.
The Abyss. Where do we want to start? What do we remember?
All right. I think the place to start is underwater.
Absolutely.
First and foremost.
First and foremost.
I recall a nice little naval submarine kind of action. They're trucking along.
They're trucking along, absolutely.
And-
Everything's going right.
No,
on
it's
this,
all fine.
on this
The
naval
first 2
submarine
seconds.
for maybe 3 to 5
It's
seconds.
about the whole good of the film.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then things start going wrong in a hurry. Let's just say that. we got a suspect circumstances going on. We don't know whether it's an attack. We don't know whether it's
popped up on the radar.
Yeah.
It's like an unidentified bogey. Do they call that something different in water?
The Russians, I believe.
Oh, they are. This is very Cold War. They're worried
Yes.
about the Russians because they have a nuke on the submarine.
Yes, this is a nuclear submarine. That's an
Yes.
important distinction.
Yes.
We're talking nuclear warp. We're just talking nukes, folks.
We're talking nukes, folks. Get used to it.
So yeah, there's something on the radar screen. We're not sure what it is. Think it might be the Russians, and then systems start malfunctioning.
Oh yeah. Beep, 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 boop, 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 whoop, 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 whoop. This is what's going on. Lots of
Yeah.
alarms blaring, whatever.
Sound general quarters, I think, is
Yeah.
the call sign there.
And everyone does the thing on submarines they do where they like grab railings and they're like, "This'll help."
And then they start crashing.
Yeah,
They're just
like
sinking.
They're
sinking, but
sinking.
well, no. At first, it goes by nothing. Nothing happens. They're like, oh.
Oh,
Yeah, we get the fake
And then
outburst.
it comes back like even faster. And then the water comes in and they're just fucking it basically they all die. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
But
Spoilers.
spoiler, I mean it's the whole point of the podcast, Pat. But in typical James Cameron fashion, the boy can shoot a ship disaster. It's unbelievable.
He can.
It's so good. The
way
first
of the
time-
water.
The way of you don't even know what you're talking about, dude.
Whoa.
You don't know about the way of water. You don't even know that it connects all things.
Yeah, that's true.
From light until never mind. So then it's like cut.
Yes, we cut to black. We're
Cut to
like, oh
black.
shit, they're probably dead. Most definitely dead, but
we didn't. They
we
really
didn't
get to know anybody.
No, there was
They're-
no clarification.
Yeah, they're just kind of like dead.
Yeah,
So then, what comes next? They're on.
we cut to good old boy Ed Harris.
But
Bud. Oh, that's a good
Bud,
pull.
good
Bud.
call out. Bud,
They are on a oil rig,
oil rig in the ocean.
a portable oil rig,
Yes.
which
key point,
seems
isn't
fake.
it like one of the only ones?
I think
it's
so.
New.
Yes. So I can do this backstory. Ed Harris and his ex-wife, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll
They're
see.
at least separated.
We'll see what happens. Right now they're separated because she's with some suit in Texas, and he gives them shit for that. But we'll talk about that in a second. When they got together, they pioneered a new form of like deep sea drilling to get oil underneath kind of like the ocean surface or
Drill,
whatever.
baby, drill. Doesn't
Drill,
stop.
baby, drill. This is a strategy that's worked out well for us in the past, and we should keep doing it.
We should.
And so they basically have a bunch of oil rig workers in the deep sea doing sea exploration, probably because he thought that regular deep sea miners like aren't that relatable to everyday people, and so they had to switch it up.
Yeah.
So they're just down there drilling. What's the crew? Who do we have down here?
Oh, I feel like you're good with names. What do you got?
But like we can, who we got?
We can do descriptions.
Yeah.
too.
We
Okay,
got
I know
the-
we got the dude with the rat.
The
dude
rat
with the
guy.
rat. So there's this guy. He looks like the guy from *Halt and Catch Fire*, but he's not him. And
His name's like Randy or something like that.
yeah, we'll call him
Randy.
Randy.
We'd love to give him a
Ross,
name.
Ross, put him down as Randy.
Yeah, Randy with
has
the rat.
Randy has a rat. Randy's like a conspiracy theorist. Like he doesn't trust the government. He's always worried everything's going wrong, but he
Yeah.
somehow decided to work on a
Yeah.
deep sea rig.
Yeah. Then we got Bud, who's the captain.
Bud's the captain. We got
We got his ex-wife.
ex-wife's not here yet. Ex-wife's not here yet.
Okay. We'll stay crew underwater.
Yeah, crew underwater. There's like a bigger, stronger kind of like guy who's
Oh.
like I don't remember his name. But he's kind of wearing wife beaters the whole
what
time.
was I saying before? Juicer or slave? I think it's Jammer.
I think it's Jammer.
Jammer?
Jammer's
It's
down
totally Jammer's down there. There's the black woman who wears like the
One
straw
night.
hat.
Damn.
You're really good at
She
this.
had the
song.
the song.
Oh yeah,
Remember,
that
I
was your.
I
favorite
was
part
all
of
over the
movie.
song.
The song, we'll get to it,
Yeah.
is like low-key the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene.
And
And
so,
then there's like a farm-looking guy. He wears like overalls and nothing under.
yeah. And there's some more people around here, but those are the kind of the crew we need to know. Some of them are like actual pilots who go into like little ships and
Yeah.
drive around out there.
I believe
and,
One Night is the main.
Yeah.
Other pilot.
And then the rat guy, he operates a drone that goes and
Yeah.
explores and looks around and he looks back at
Kinda
it.
like a
at
tech
video
nerd
Yeah, he's like a
of the
tech
group.
nerd, absolutely. So this is the crew we got going on. Oh,
Cut.
cut.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's up? We have 29 minutes and 25 seconds left. Ross, what is up?
So this is the very first. This is introducing all of these people right now. Like this is like a big panning shot that's going down into the water, introducing dude with rat, juicer, jammer,
No,
a
it's
woman
like
with a straw hat
They're kind of
underwater.
like hanging out on their oil rig thing.
It's a classic James Cameron shot where it's like Ed Harris is walking around
Yeah.
the rig and he's doing like 1 second of dialogue with all of these people.
Introduction.
Yeah, and so
Basically.
he's like, get that thing together. It's like, why is that fucking spout not working?
They're
And he's
doing a
wandering around,
job
walking
that's
around.
unaffiliated with the rest of the story at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, we're kind of just getting the walk and talk, the Aaron
Yeah.
Sorkin.
But
if you will.
it's the Aaron Sorkin walk and talk, but they're on a deep sea oil rig, so everyone's like constantly ducking and moving in these kind of pipes and stuff. Any other questions? I'm worried you used this cut way too early because this movie right now still makes sense.
Yeah, I sorry. It was just getting into like you're introducing people. I didn't know if they were underwater or.
Oh, they are underwater. The
The rest of the movie is.
Yeah, there's a couple times where we talk to the people like upstairs a little bit, but Ed Harris never reaches the surface until the end.
All right. I'll try and use my last two cuts sparingly.
Use them however you want, pal, but I'm worried about you later. Okay, 29 minutes left. I think we established the crew. So they're doing a job, and also what's going on is there's a big weather system outside.
Yes.
And so they're kind of in communication with the boat that's on top of them, and they're tethered to this boat with this big, long rope in between the rig and the boat. Mm-hmm. And they're talking to the boat about this weather system, and then the boat gets commandeered by the government.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad
These
The bad guys.
the friggin' government.
The freaking feds, man. We're just trying to drill in the ocean, and the feds fucking show up.
So we got the feds showing up,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, this submarine."
Classic feds.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey,
Hey,
so this submarine might be a civilian submarine, it might be a nuclear submarine, but we're not going to tell you that. We'd like you to help go see what's up going on with it. You know, we think it went off radar. think it might have crashed. We'd love your help to go see if
save
there's
the
any
people.
survivors." Yeah.
The people, that's what they're told.
They want to go. So the nuke from the beginning, the government wants to commandeer the oil rig because they're the only ship deep enough to go there quickly to get to the rig before the big storm comes and blows everything away. So this is the setup, right? And the government is sending in fucking Marines, but not like just Marines. These people are so like, what's
Oh,
way
the stash.
Yeah, there's stash guy.
Stash guy, and then there's like 2 minions.
There's 2 minions, but they're so buttoned up, kind of classic, kind of
Yeah.
army brat
Yeah.
guys. They're like the oil rig crew is like shirts untucked, like unbuttoned, like they're just kind of
It's a good
hanging
work
out.
environment,
They're
you know?
chilling. They're like making
They're having
jokes.
summer Fridays.
They're just playing with the rat.
They're playing with the rat. There's a rat hanging out, and none of them care. You know,
He's like
that's kind of
he's
cool.
like tongue kissing the rat.
He does do that. Do you remember what the context is for that? Oh, I remember,
They're
but
just-
that's a little later.
yeah.
It's after the rat
Oh,
almost
yep,
dies.
Yep.
Yep.
So you gotta. Yeah.
We got to get there.
Okay, so
So
they're being recruited
Yeah.
to help out. They're a little hesitant because they don't want to take orders from these weirdos
Yeah.
that are, feds.
yeah,
We don't,
well, Ed
we
Harris
don't-
is like, everyone get out of the water.
Yeah.
Get out of there. We got to fucking talk to the feds.
Yeah.
And then the feds come down. Ed Harris is unaware.
Yeah.
Who else is coming down? His ex-wife.
Oh, freaking! What is it?
Her name is Lindsay.
Lindsay.
I do think it's Lindsay. I can't. There's a line that he does towards Lindsay that I literally cannot wait to say. I cannot wait to scream this line into a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah,
remember it
that's-
verbatim. I'm so excited to scream it. Anyway.
So we're not pleased about either the feds nor Lindsay being
No.
on our rig here.
Yeah.
Lindsay's kind of the brains upstairs kind of thing.
Yeah, she designed the oil rig, but she doesn't
Yeah.
operate it.
Yeah. And so we're just as surprised to see her.
Ed Harris is unhappy, but then so she comes down and they immediately start bickering. These two are just like yap. And it's like not even fun arguing. It's like when you're at dinner with like a couple and they're like clearly just had an argument and they're trying to not argue in front of you, but these two are looking at each other. I'm not even talking about you guys right now. And they're clearly like trying not to argue in front of the kids, but they can't help it. They just keep sniping at each other. And so they're walking around this fucking submarine. She's like, God damn it, who did this? It's offline or whatever. And she's like fixing all the gears.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's basically just telling him he sucks.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you suck. That's kind of the general
And he's
tone.
like, "Where's the suit?" multiple times.
Oh yeah, he's making fun of her because she is currently dating a guy in a suit in Texas.
Those Texas oil men.
They're always stealing the girls.
They are.
It's
You
the
lost a
suit.
girl to a Texas oilman
A few times.
a few times.
Yeah.
Was it this girl or was it a different?
It's an
girl?
ongoing battle, you know. we're in a land dispute, if you will.
Oh, for territory.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is this where we get the wedding ring stuff?
Oh.
I think so, because they get in their first fight on
Yes.
the rig.
Yes.
And he is so mad at her that he storms off, and he is still wearing his wedding ring, and he throws it in the submarine toilet.
Yes.
Turns around, is like, probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Sticks his hand in the dirty blue toilet water.
Yeah, it's one of those like an airplane bathroom things, and he sticks his hand in there, like deep in there.
Yeah.
He's getting for it, and he digs it out, and then he wears it, but his hand's fucking blue
for the entire film.
the rest of the movie. And it's like they don't have fucking
Wash your
sinks
hands, man.
here.
Wash your hands.
You're surrounded by water.
I mean, a lot happens, but
Your hand's still blue.
It's still blue.
Blue.
Well, maybe it's a nice nod to the blue people James Cameron is going to be talking
Yeah,
about later.
that's what it
is.
Maybe he's part Na'vi. A Marine in a Na'vi
Yeah.
body. That's a pretty potent mix.
All right.
That's a quote from Avatar 2, Cool in the Way of Water. Okay.
We got a lot of movie to
Yeah,
cover
we
here.
gotta.
I'm not worried about us. I think we're doing good. I think these 5 minutes are good.
Mm-hmm.
24 minutes left. Should we start? Should we get into it?
Yeah, we should get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we reluctantly.
Oh, one more thing we got to set up. If when you're down in the deep sea, you have the potential to go crazy. And they talk about how you might get like deep sea PTSD is kind of the way I describe it. And it's like if your hands start shaking and you start acting erratically, it's not because you yourself are crazy. It's because you have what do you remember what they call it?
The bends
The bends is when it's like pressure,
when you go
Yeah.
up.
but it's like that. But then you're just going crazy because you're underwater.
Yeah, something like that. So they're all right. Now you guys go. Move us along.
So we reluctantly agree to go along with the Fed's plan here, begrudgingly, if you will.
They offer them a lot of money.
Yeah, they get like triple
Like a
pay or
lot
some
of
shit.
money.
Yeah. So we're like, oh God, whatever. You know, sure, this will be fine. We'll go along with it. We're not gonna listen to these freaking Feds anyway. We're gonna listen to Bud,
Yeah,
Captain Bud.
Bud's, they're all complaining, but they're all complaining to Ed Harris. And Ed Harris is like, I get it, man, but you know, what am I going to do? I got the old ball and chain over here giving me orders. It's kind of the tone of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then they go to the submarine, the nuclear
so
submarine.
they all join down in the crew area of the rig, and they hit the submarine. They start going down.
Yeah.
It's
sick. This is, I think, when they do the song.
Yeah, they're all vibing, and One Night pulls out the song out of nowhere. It's like the work song.
So I feel like for context, it's important. So they are on this rig, and there's like a pool in the bottom. I don't think we've explained this. There's
No,
an
the pool
open
rules.
pool,
Like a moon pool.
and then they have these two like external pods that actually go down and can visit the crashed submarine.
Yes.
And so One Night is piloting one of these like pods.
Yeah, and the Marines are in the other one.
Yes.
And then we got the rest of the crew's like in one of those pods ready to dive, like go out of it. Mm-hmm. And then we got Rat Guy has got a drone.
Yep.
And that's
He
the
likes
crew
his
going
drone.
out. He loves his drone.
Yeah.
Drone will be important later.
Yeah. It has a name.
It has a name. It has like a little smiley
It's
face
like
on it
it's
too.
like Little Buddy or something. Something stupid.
Yeah, because I think there's a big buddy and a little buddy. I
Yeah,
think
it's
the big
something
buddy
like
is the
that.
manned one. And okay, anyway. So then they go to the submarine. They split up. We got Bud,
And Big Boy.
Big Boy, and then a couple of the Marines go inside.
Yep.
And then Wife and a few other people are kind of exploring the outside
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the ship. Which one do we want to do first?
Let's do inside.
Inside. Okay. What happens inside, Pat?
So I believe we're split up, like you said. We got the two groups inside. We got the Marines going one way. We got Ed Harris and his boy going the other way. We're like, oh my God, everyone's dead.
There's
Everyone's
dead
dead.
people floating.
There's dead people bodies. It's so cool. It's so sick.
I would also be freaked out. Like, you know, it's a little scary. You're like, what are we doing down here? Everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead. It's
And
also
so-
like immediately clear. There's no way anyone lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They're like,
everyone
so
is so
why
clearly
did we
dead.
do this?
And so we're like, okay, we got to go deeper. We got to get, we got to figure out what happened.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see if we
basically-
can figure anything out.
Yeah. The Marines want to keep going exploring, and Ed Harris and the guys are like, I feel like we found out there's no
Yeah.
survivors. We're good. And they're like, no, we got to keep going, and that's because they've got to go retrieve the nuke.
Big nuke.
Because
Which is actually not that big. I've never seen a nuke before in person, but it's like literally
Wow.
they like put it in a duffel bag.
Pat, have you seen a nuke before?
Only what I've learned from Bobby Oppenheimer, you know?
Uncle Bob, that wasn't a nuke.
Whatever, same thing.
Kind of the whole purpose was it wasn't a nuke.
Same thing. No, that was pretty
because,
big.
To quote the guy, somebody built a bigger bomb.
True.
Okay, so then Ed Harris, Marine guy, and big guy have to separate within the submarine, and the big guy starts freaking out.
He thinks
breathing.
he's seeing shit, like he's seeing dead bodies. He's freaking out.
He's holding onto this rope. The rope is attaching himself to Ed Harris, who's gone to explore deeper into the ship. The rope gets lodged in between something. The rope snaps. He doesn't feel any. It's loose. He freaks out. Then his light above his helmet goes off. So he's in the dark alone in the ship full of dead people. He understandably loses it.
He's having a panic attack.
He's having a panic attack. He's like,
Yeah.
he starts having like
Can't
a
blame him.
full-on seizure. He's screaming over the radio like, Bud, Bud, Bud.
No.
Bud can't hear him because he's
Nope.
too far gone. And so then we think this guy's about to die. And then what happens?
I believe that's the first inclination that there's something or someone else, in the area.
Absolutely. This is important, Ross. So he sees a bright light, and then we cut,
Yep.
and then Ed Harris gets to him, and he thinks he's dead. So they rush him out, and everyone's rushing him out, and they're going out. But then all the lights go off. Mm-hmm. And the wife is outside the ship, and she's like, what's going on? What's this? This is very weird. The lights are off. The lights were supposed to be on. And so she's looking around trying to figure it out, and then she sees the thing, which is like, it's a little pink kind of thing that's got like it's like a plankton type of situation
It's
kind
like
of
a
going.
blob thing.
Yeah, it's like a pink little blob, but it's oddly pretty, and it's this only light source around, and so it's the pink little blob, and then her in the spacesuit, and they kind of make eyes at each other. He does a little like whip around her, and then he disappears, and then she's like,
Yep.
magic. Yeah.
She's pretty
Yeah.
convinced.
She's like, this is fucking cool. So then everyone goes back to the ship. Is the guy needs medical help.
Yep. They put him into or he's in a coma, maybe an induced coma. They're trying to get him
Something like
medical
that.
care,
Yeah.
but they need to get him up top. But
Yeah.
for now, he's out. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. Bigger guys are healthier.
Yeah.
That's that's what I tell my doctor every time, and he doesn't believe me.
keep trying. He'll come around.
Come on, Dr. Sue.
Big Doc.
And so then she tries to convince Ed Harris that she saw something. Ed Harris is like, you bitch, you sound
Yeah.
crazy.
Everyone's like, all right, lady.
Yeah,
Come
dude,
on.
We're oil men. We don't believe in your fairy tale bullshit, lady. Get out of here. Right? Liv, like, I'm getting this right.
Yeah. We forgot something kind of big.
What did
What?
we forget?
So when there's a storm system above, they lose their tether to the main boat, and they crashed.
Yeah. So this is what's about to happen. So they get back to the ship.
Is it?
They get back
Yeah.
to the ship, and this is when the rope
Yeah.
falls.
Oh, okay. So
Because they have to all get back in the ship, and
they
then,
get the nuke.
They get the nuke first.
So the Marines
I
take
think
the
so.
nuke
Yeah.
back, but we don't know they've taken the nuke back. We'll find out later.
But that's what they were off doing.
Yeah.
And
In
then
the
they get
submarine.
back.
Everyone gets back. Guy's gonna die, and they're like dealing with that, and then boom, the storm system tether breaks, and the rope starts falling, and they're very worried it's gonna hit the ship, which is currently like launch just so on this cliff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it doesn't really have any room to kind of teeter or move around. And so they're where they're going to get hit. But thankfully, the rope descends, and hits kind of right next to them. And you're like, phew,
Phew.
situation over.
Close call.
Right?
Close call.
Yeah.
Nothing bad could happen next, right, guys?
No, absolutely not.
Do you want to do it? Do you want me to do it?
Why don't you start us, you know?
So then it's like everyone's like, and then the rope teeters over the edge. And the big rope thing that is congested right next to the ship starts lightening up as the rope goes down. And so then they get pulled all the way down off of the cliff from this rope thing. They don't know where they're going to stop. It's chaos up here. Water's coming in everywhere. Sirens are blaring. Boo, 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 boo. And at some point they just stop, but like a whole bunch of areas of the ship now are underwater.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they're running out of each ship hold.
Yeah.
They're, you know, as one
They're trying
does.
to like plug holes.
Yeah, when we were watching, you know, I was saying you gotta close the door and leave a few guys behind to save the rest of the ship.
They do that.
They eventually do,
do.
but they kept waiting at first,
Yeah.
and it was like, guys, leave someone behind.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
So Ed Harris and one of the other guys are in like the main pool area when this is going
Yeah.
on. And then Ed Harris tries to save them in the door. He can't do it, so he has to go through to the next
Yeah.
door. And you think the door closed on him, but he puts his hand in, and what saves him? His wedding ring,
Fucking
which he
wedding
pulled
ring.
out of the toilet
the
earlier. His marriage is literally saving his life.
What material do you think that was
It's
made
not
out of?
possible.
It's
It's
not
not
possible.
possible.
You've never seen a crushed gold ring. It's not possible. It would
not
have
possible.
crushed.
Alright.
It would have been so stuck to his finger that his finger would come off.
We're gonna have to talk to
Sorry.
James about this.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's kind of lame that you said
I
that.
ruined it when we watched it, so I have to
Immersion
ruin it
shattered.
for everyone on the podcast. I was like, not real. Door would have won.
Boo. Anyway, some people die, but no one we really knew or
Yeah.
cared about. We
And
now
the
have like
situation stabilized for the moment.
stabilized for the moment, but they've lost power.
Yep.
Their air supply's going down.
No
They're
There's
at-
no
Asian.
heat.
There's no heat. They're all cold, and the Marines have a nuke.
Yep.
And the main Marine, I think this is a good time to talk about Mustache Guy.
Mustache.
Yep.
Mustache Guy is tweaking.
Yep. He is going crazy, man.
He's going crazy.
He's got the
shaking.
shakes.
He's got the shakes.
hallucinating.
He's really violent.
He's super violent. He's
Lashing
snapping
out.
at people
Yeah.
all the time.
He is crashing out.
Ed Harris and
Lashing out and crashing out.
So the oil crew sets up like a makeshift hub in like the main area where they're like all kind of sleeping
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and doing tending to their wounded, I guess. And then the Marines are holed up in one of the rooms and they're like just looking at the nuke scheming.
Yeah.
And then Rat Guy uses a drone because Rat Guy is suspicious of what they're up to.
Him and Lindsay
Lindsay.
are a little
Yeah,
suspicious.
Lindsay's really upset.
Yeah, so they use the drone to go over and look through the outside through the window, which there would be no windows on a ship like this. No way.
Come on,
It
James.
would
Crack under the pressure.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
come on. But anyway,
James.
they look through the window to see that they got a nuke. They tell Bud and Lindsay that they got a nuke. They storm in to the Marines' quarters, and it's a Mexican standoff because the Marines got a gun.
We always forget that. We're like, hey, let's take them. We got 5 of us.
Yeah.
They got guns.
And so the Marines literally sitting there like tweaking out, holding a gun next to a nuclear bomb, and they're like, all right, I guess we just gotta like live with this guy
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
And then
It's really like I don't think we've talked about how cool all of this is.
no, it's visually it's great. You know, it sounds
You're
a
also
little
just
silly.
on the edge of your seat because you're like, what's next?
what's next? Because you're like,
It's all going wrong.
let's
Yeah.
It can't get worse, can
yeah.
it?
I'll reset a little bit. Let's establish what we have going on right now because we're about 2/3 of the way into the movie so far. Ross, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing all right.
Okay, so we've got going on the Marines. Marines are having a full-on panic attack. They have a nuclear bomb and a gun. We have a mysterious blob going around that can control electricity. We have Ed Harris and his wife kind of bonding, but also still very much mad at each other, but
Yeah.
kind of using this life and death situation to bond. We have injured people in the ward. We have a rig without air support, without connection to the outside world, losing temperature and losing power every second. This
Yep.
is the situation.
It's not looking good, folks.
No, it's not looking good. And so
We're in that Mexican standoff.
we're in that Mexican standoff.
Who do we think wins there?
I just think they just like, but like it's like you calm down, everybody just relax.
And the thing about that, though, is when someone's legitimately tweaking out, he's got, the underwater bends, whatever we want to call it. You don't really want to mess with that dude
No.
and have a crazy off, especially when
No.
he has a gun.
It's kind of like having a rap battle with Kendrick Lamar.
Drake found out.
So topical, man.
Thank you, Ross.
So topical.
Thank you.
Yeah, they didn't know. They hadn't heard Not Like Us. I guess they didn't
Not
have.
Like Us in 1989.
Yeah, they hadn't heard it quite
under
yet.
the sea. Okay, so why do they go? They go into this other rig, right? Oh no! First the water guy. Oh, right. So then they go to bed.
Okay, so I think we got one thing first. So we got the standoff. Of course, the Marines are like, "Fuck you," you know,
Yeah.
and they win. And so they get paranoid, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna like hole up even more." And so Ed Harris and another dude.
No, this is after.
Okay.
This is after. So first things first.
They get like captured. They're captured.
Yeah, so basically they have to go all sit into. They're all like sitting in the regular place, like sleeping,
Yeah.
and then lights go off. Blob.
He comes back again?
He comes out of the water
Yeah.
as like a face. You
Yeah.
remember this?
Yes.
And
yes,
he goes
yes.
through the ship, goes through
Oh,
the
it's
doors.
during the standoff, low key.
Yeah, it's through the doors, and he comes and he like looks at the girl. Him and the girl have a bonding moment. The water, so it's coming out of the water, like
Yep.
controlling it, and it has the water, and
It's
it's
like an arm with a head.
Yeah, and it mirrors Ed Harris's face and her face, and they have
Yep.
like kind of a fun like ET moment.
You're exactly right.
And then the Marines see this though, and he's like, "Fuck, what is this shit?"
He's tweaking so hard, and then he thinks it's the Russians,
Well,
probably.
No, so like the girl is like, there's something out there, and they're like, no, you're too emotional. It's a Russian. And so the whole movie, they're like, no, it's a Russian.
Guys, that's why a woman can't be president. Like, they're too emotional. They see shit.
They're just like
And
gaslighting
it's
her
the
the whole
Russians.
time, and she's like, I know there's something
Yeah.
out there. I know this sounds crazy, and they're like, no, fuck you.
So now everyone believes them.
Everyone's seen it. It's real.
And he like cuts it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
'cause
cuts
he
it
thinks
off,
it's an
and so
attack.
this is when the Marine fully loses it. He
Yep.
says, "All of you guys are confined to the brig. I'm
You're right.
going
Yeah.
to."
I went one step ahead there.
Yeah,
You're right.
I'm going to like go and like nuke something. Like he's just gonna like nuke. He's just because his whole thing is like, I'm just gonna set off this nuke, and that's gonna solve
Yep.
everything.
Yeah.
And so they're all cordoned off, and so Ed Harris and the big guy have to go underwater from one part of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
They swim all the way down up through the little pool, and then they have a crazy like fisticuffs
Yep.
with the Marine guy in the pool area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's badass. It's
The
awesome.
guy's
it's the first
about
time James
to-
Cameron's done full like action movie mode
Yeah.
in this movie, and it's sick.
Stash is about to kill Ed Harris's character. He's got him in like a headlock, something like that. And then the other
Absolutely.
guy like rises out of the water.
Yep.
'Cause he got there late.
Yeah.
He made the swim slowly.
Yeah. It's also like the water's freezing
Yeah.
cold.
Everyone's dead.
And they're all
logistically, but-
watching it on like the screen, and they're watching Ed Harris beat up. He beats up the Marine, but he's wounded. But this is
Yeah.
like this is not the problem they need to solve.
Yeah.
Oh, when do they get on the boats and they do like the boat race?
Okay, so you're right there.
Okay.
So there's the fight. Ed Harris is about to lose. Other guy pops up, knocks him out. They scuffle a little bit. Marine runs to the drone that he's got rigged.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got rigged with a bomb.
Oh yeah.
The nuke is rigged to the little nomad or whatever,
Yeah.
little guy.
Little buddy.
Little buddy.
Little
buddy. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna set this nuke off.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no, don't do that. And then he drops, he lets it go.
Yeah, he lets it go. Basically, like, he lets it go, and then it's kind of on the edge of a cliff again,
Yep.
funny
Yeah.
enough. And so then he gets in one rig, Ed Harris and the wife get another, and they do literally like a car chase in
Yeah.
the deep sea. You
It's like-
call cut? I feel like you were going to call cut. No? No. Okay. We have two
we
left.
We got a little race. going.
So they have a little race going on. They're swerving.
They're doing a little bumper cars.
There's no weapons on these, so they're literally ramming into each other.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And so they ram into each other a couple
Bam.
times.
Bam.
They're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then they collide really hard, and they both, like, careen.
Yes.
They're both on the edge of the cliff kind of thing.
Yes. He dies. He's fucking dead.
His thing falls, like, over the edge.
The Marine.
The Marine.
And it does
falls
the
over
fucking.
the edge.
It does the Ocean Gate thing.
Ocean Gate.
Collapses in.
Yeah.
But
He's
then
gone.
Ed Harris and his wife, they're too far out, and their thing's like out of power. They can't get back to the main ship.
Yep.
And so they're doing this whole thing like, how are we going to get back? They only have one suit to go all the way back. And so they come up with this weird plan where Ed Harris is going to, like, essentially swim her to the rig. She's going to die, and then their plan is they're going to revive her with the kind of, like,
Because it's so
electroshock.
cold, I
Yeah.
think it'll keep her systems, like, intact.
Absolutely.
Don't try that at home. I wouldn't recommend.
I wouldn't try anything from
Although
this movie
this might be
at
the
home.
best scene of the movie.
Sorry, cut.
Cut. 5 minutes, 23 seconds left. Ross, questions about the last 23 minutes of The Abyss we just did?
Yeah, so just quickly, I'm just sort of saying the Marines, like the Marines. Like,
Yeah.
is the Mustache Marine the main guy?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
the
big
main
baddie?
bad guy. He
Okay.
has two minions. The minions basically kind of
One's hurt.
they
Yeah,
kind
one
of get it
doesn't-
taken out of
yeah,
commission.
yeah.
They kind of turn against him, but they're kind of irrelevant to the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the main, like, confrontation of, like, the Mexican standoff.
Sure.
They lock everyone up, and then they kind of turn against him while he's tweaking. So it's mainly just, when we say the Marine now, it's literally just that one guy.
Although
Okay.
he is now
He's
dead.
now
he
dead.
got
He's dead. He got ran off another
No typing.
cliff underwater.
There's
it's
like 18 cliffs.
yeah. It seems
there's
like
a lot
they're
of
always
cliffs.
on the edge of a
Yeah,
cliff. It's
yeah.
kind of impressive.
Yeah, they're kind of at the edge of the abyss.
Another question: Mustache Man almost kills Ed Harris, but then Ed Harris gets saved by his friend, or Mustache
Yeah.
Man's friend? comes?
Ed Harris gets saved by his friend.
Okay.
This is a good point. So
Yes.
his friend was supposed to go all the way with him, but then doesn't. He can't make
He,
it
like,
all the
couldn't
way
make
through.
it. He didn't have
So-
enough breath.
So
he
he
Okay.
stops at like a middle point. He's waited there, and then he kind of comes into the last second, punches him.
Yeah.
But then the guy sets the nuke off, and the nuke
and
goes
he, like,
off on the
dives
drone.
into the other summer.
The other thing that we didn't put here that we should get in there is that in the whole ruckus, the nuke is now falling off the cliff, like
Oh,
way,
yeah, I
way,
was
way,
gonna-
way, way down off the ledge.
I was gonna say, like, while this last part that we're talking about, where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna swim her back," like,
Yeah.
who takes the suit, kind of thing. Ed Harris and his wife. Mm-hmm. Nuke falls off another cliff, all the way down.
The nuke is like it's the
Lord.
nuke is just down and out. It's not good. It's not looking good for the nuke.
It's got a countdown on it.
yeah, it's got a countdown on it. It's,
And
it's
can we
gonna
go over the rope falling again? You said it fell. It didn't hit a sub, but then it fell next to a sub.
Basically, like the rope at the top of it had a big kind of, lack of a better word, like an anchor.
Oh, okay, where it
they think
attached to the
anchor's
top boat.
Yeah,
It
they
didn't
think that-
crush it, but it falls off the cliff.
Okay.
Again,
Where are these glyphs, man?
they're in the fucking ocean, dude.
I don't
It's
understand.
nothing but cliffs. You've been down there?
I know.
There's a lot of cliffs.
James
right.
Cameron knows more than me.
Absolutely. So RT. All right, 5 minutes, 23 seconds left.
All right, I'm
Here
good,
we
I'm
go.
good.
Stretch, run. Okay. So,
Nukes off a cliff.
Nuke's off a cliff. Nuke's off a cliff. Wife's dead. Ed Harris is swimming her back to
Yeah.
the
Like,
ship.
fuck. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, Dory style. He comes up. She's dead. So fucking dead.
She's very dead.
And
Like,
what
long dead.
And you know what? He's like, let's show her boobs.
He's like, we gotta revive her. Get the defibrillators,
So it's like 6 men
Yeah.
standing over this passed out dead woman.
Absolutely.
And
She's
someone-
looking kind of hot, guys. Let's be real, though. She's looking kind of hot.
So someone's like, get the defibrillator.
Yeah.
Then they're about to do it, and someone's like, stop.
Well, I think
It
they
won't
tried
work
like
for-
14 times first.
Yeah, if they try, I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's right away they go, it won't work.
They're like,
through
it's
post,"
not working.
Which feels like someone was like, I hate movies where they do it on
Can
clothes
you
that doesn't
can
work.
you clarify the call out that they
Well,
make
this
there?
was my review.
Okay.
He's like, you gotta do bare skin.
You gotta do bearskin.
And so then they rip her shirt open. Everything spills out.
By everything we mean boobs.
Yep.
Just for the folks watching at home.
And then they try again.
And then they try again. It's not working.
No.
It's not working. It's not working. Everyone's
So,
like,
he's like beating the shit out of his naked wife.
wait.
Oh.
I'm about to do this. So everyone tells Ed Harris, You gotta give up.
She's
And,
dead. man.
and
Move
much
on.
like people probably told Jim Cameron in his marriage, it was time to give up. But Ed Harris goes, so finally he does a bunch of times CPR, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't work. Everyone's like, this guy's dead. This scene goes on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
it's a long
long.
scene.
And then
We're just staring at her tits.
finally, no music. Ed Harris goes, come on, you bitch. You never give up on anything in your life, you bitch. You fight, damn it. Fight. And he does it. He's screaming into the camera.
He's
Her.
slapping the shit out of her.
He slaps her in the face. She's dead. She's dead.
And shirtless.
But
And
yeah, we got
shirtless,
bare
to be
skin out.
clear.
We're still shirtless.
And then she coughs up the water.
Yep.
She's alive. And we're like, oh, yay. But they're running out of water. There's a nuke at the bottom of the ocean. We got problems to solve.
Yeah.
Ed Harris is like, no rest for the wicked. I got to go down and stop that nuke. We didn't talk about it,
Yeah.
but the Marines have invented a technology that allows people to breathe water.
By drowning them first?
It's so I when
It's like
on
a Jell-O.
on this Wikipedia, it did say this. This is a real technology they've tested only on animals.
Really?
Ross is nodding, so it's true. Where you can breathe water.
Seems like he would know
similar, that. Yeah, seems like a cadaver type
Yep.
fact.
I don't know what to say.
So they put this in his like suit, and they basically send him down. He can't talk. He can only type
Yeah.
on his little like messagey kind of like.
You basically have like Jello in your lungs, kind of thing. You
Yeah.
can't talk, can't
So he's
breathe.
got to like type to
I
him,
don't
and
know.
they're talking to him as he goes down.
He goes
down,
deeper
down.
than Ocean Gate.
He's like
He's
deeper
so
than any
far
man
down.
has ever been
Yeah.
before.
He's passing the fuck out. Like
Passing the fuck out.
he's so deep. He's chasing that nuke. He kind of passed out a little bit.
Where is he?
He's in the.
You cutting or not cutting?
Oh, sorry. I'll shut up.
Okay, so
We're off the cliff chasing the nuke.
yeah, 2 minutes left.
This is the final cliff, so to speak.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm worried you don't have enough time for what's about to happen.
I know. Okay, so he's going. He's kind of passed out, kind of not. He sees the nuke. Like he finally gets to the nuke.
Yeah. And he disarms the nuke.
Yeah.
For they do a whole bunch of like side talk, like, is it this wire? Is it this wire? We don't
They're
know.
like,
Yeah.
cut the green wire. He's like, I'll just cut one.
He's like, it's fucking
He, like,
dark
can't
out here. It's
see,
the ocean.
yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
see shit. He cuts a wire. It doesn't blow up. He saves the nuke. And he's like, all right. And then they're like, come on back, Ed. And he's like, don't have enough oxygen. Gonna die down here.
Yeah.
And the wife's like, no, Ed. I love you.
Yeah.
They're reuniting. It's nice. And then
Out of nowhere.
big light comes up. Whole fucking alien ship shows up.
Yeah.
They invite. I'm gonna speed through this.
Speed it.
They
Speed it.
invite
Go, go,
Ed
go.
Harris into the ship. They put him into a room where they have oxygen, so the water goes down, and they
he's just breathing.
essentially, and then they're like, "Hey, we're pretty mad at you guys on
Humans
Earth,"
bad.
and they're like, "Look at you guys are bombing each other.
They're
You
like,
guys
we're
are
disappointed in you.
Yeah,
Do
they're
better.
Not mad, disappointed.
They're not mad, disappointed, and so then the aliens have created a bunch of tidal waves on Earth, ready to destroy humanity, and they're about to do it. We cut back to the ship on Earth. Everyone's like, fuck.
We're freaking out
fuck,
over here.
fuck. 45 seconds, and then they're like, we were about to destroy you,
Ed Harris gives the speech of a lifetime.
but he's like, no, we have good in us, and they're like, we
They're
know,
like, no, you actually
No.
don't. But your
But-
your messages to your wife were so sweet and loving and tender that we're gonna give you another chance.
Absolutely. So Ed Harris has said such loving things about his wife. He's like, I was willing to sacrifice himself for his marriage, for humanity. And the aliens see this sacrifice that they decide to save him. The tidal wave, whoosh, 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 it goes by.
All
No
goes
one's
away.
harmed. Everyone's good. The ship rises everybody up to the
It's
to the
so
surface. 10
big.
seconds. Ed Harris walks out. He reconciles. They hug. Everyone sees the alien.
Everyone's happy. We're married again. Oh my god, that was so stressful.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
That
nice.
was a lot. Ross, did you
we
get
got there in
you
the
get
end.
everything?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Ross, now that we've described the plot to you, what'd you think of The Abyss?
It sounds like it's not as scary as I thought it would be. It just sounds confusing. And
I
sort
would
of,
say it's more of a thriller than a horror genre.
I would agree.
yeah. I thought it would be like a lot of
The creatures
shit touching
themselves,
your ankle and you
no,
know, freaking out. And,
the creatures themselves are not
They're
actually
really
that
cute.
scary.
And they're really like friendly.
Yeah, they're totally like more ET than they are like scary aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely more, willing to watch The Abyss now.
So here's the thing about The Abyss. It is not James Cameron has made a lot of movies, Terminator, Aliens, Avatar, Titanic, that everyone has seen. They're just kind of universal movies that everyone watches. This is, for some reason, escaped that status. It is not kind of a movie that like fathers
a
make
pop
their kids
culture
watch. It's not a
element.
movie that people like. It is so good. And everything that has made Jim Cameron so successful is right here. And it's also, I think, his most personal movie, far and away. It's
The
so
divorce
clear.
probably helps.
It's like this guy is like dealing with some shit, and he
Yeah.
put it all on the page. And he loves deep sea rigging, so all of that attention and passion is in there. But addition, like all of the kind of heart of it in a lot of James Cameron movies can feel very like, oh Jack, I love you so much, you know, that kind of stuff. But like in this movie, it has a real edge to it because his marriage is like crumbling, and so it feels like these are conversations he's actually had with his wife.
Was
that
this
have
a
been-
love letter to his wife?
Yeah, so his wife is a producer on this movie, but they got
Like,
divorced
hey babe,
before
let's
the movie
get back
came out.
together.
Yeah. Pat and Liv, what'd you guys think of The Abyss?
I thought it was a quality film.
I really
you
liked
know,
I was skeptical.
I assign
Titanic
this
might
to
be Titanic might be, you know, better overall just in terms like obviously it has the critical acclaim and the money, you know, the box office stats
Yeah.
to back it up and the pop culture relevance, but this is close up there with some of his best works, you know?
It really is. It's so good.
I particularly like the advice that he gives. If anyone ever drowns in front of you, give them the defibrillator, rip their shirt off, and then slap the shit out of them while yelling at them, and they'll come back to life.
You bitch!
Yeah.
You never given up on anything in your life. Now fight, damn it, fight!
Don't get married, kids.
I'm like maxing out the fucking audio thing. I don't know what to do about it. Okay, here's the plot of The Abyss. In January 1994, U.S. Ohio-class submarine USS Montana has an encounter with an unidentified submerged object and sinks near the Cayman Trough. With Soviet ships moving in to try and salvage the sub and a hurricane moving over the area, the U.S. government sends a SEAL team to Deep Core, a privately owned experimental underwater drilling platform near the Cayman Trough. This is where Ed Harris and them all are.
I wonder if this is the same SEAL team that killed Osama.
Probably.
I think
is.
they're the same SEAL team.
I think the stash
Yeah.
had something to do with it.
For sure.
The stash was like, I'm not resting until this guy's dead. I'm going into every cave. The platform's designer, Dr. Lindsay Brigman, excellent stuff, insists on going along with the SEAL team, even though her estranged husband, Virgil Bud Brigman, excellent job, is the current foreman. During the initial investigation of Montana, a power cut in the team's submersibles leads to Lindsay seeing a strange light circling the sub, which she later calls a non-terrestrial intelligence, or an NTI. The SEAL team leader is ordered to accelerate their mission and takes one of the mini-subs without the deep sea team's core permission to recover a Trident missile from the Montana. So this is when he was taking the nuke. Leaving the crew unable to connect. Okay, so this is what happens. So he wastes a lot of time trying to get the nuke, and they can't disconnect in time for the storm. And then the storm comes, and that's
what
why the
breaks the
thing
cable.
comes down, because
Yeah.
he wasted all this time trying to get the nuke. So we got that, but kind of in a weird order. The cable crane is torn from the ship and falls into the trench, dragging Deep Core to the edge of the cliff before it stops. The rig is partially flooded, killing several crew members and damaging its power system. The crew waits out the storm so they can restore communications and be rescued. As they struggle against the cold, they find the NTIs have formed an animated column of water to explore the rig. This is the alien thing that's got the face. Ross is looking at me like, what
No,
the fuck?
I got that.
Which they equate to an alien version of a remotely operated vehicle, like the drone that Lil Buddy drone. Though they treat it with curiosity, Coffee is agitated and cuts it in half by closing a pressure bulkhead on it, causing it to retreat. Realizing that Coffee is the mustache, is suffering from paranoia from high-pressure nervous syndrome, the crew spies on him through an ROV, finding him and another SEAL arming a warhead to attack the NTIs. The Marine's trying to kill the aliens. I don't know if we said that explicitly, but that's definitely his
Yeah.
vibe.
Well, I thought it was the Russians, and he's trying to kill the Russians, so same.
Same. To try to stop him, Bud fights Coffee, but Coffee escapes in a mini-sub with the primed warhead. Bud and Lindsay give chase in another sub, damaging both. This is the bumper cars we were talking about. Coffee is able to launch the warhead into the trench, but his sub drifts over the edge and implodes from the pressure, killing him. Whoosh! Bud's mini sub is inoperable and it's taking on water. With only one functional diving suit, Lindsay opts to drown and hopefully enter deep hypothermia. Pat said that when the ocean's cold water engulfs her with hopes of being resuscitated. Bud swims back to the platform with her body. There, he and her crew use the defibrillator, administer CPR, and they revive her. Get up, you bitch!
Exactly.
It is decided that they need to disarm the warhead, which is more than 2 miles below them. One SEAL, I'm not going to say his name, helps Bud use an experimental diving suit equipped with a liquid breathing apparatus to survive that depth. We got that. Though he only will be able to communicate through a keypad on the suit. We got that. Bud begins his dive, assisted by Lindsay's voice to keep him coherent against the effects of the mounting pressure, and he reaches the warhead. Monk guides him into successfully disarming it. With the little oxygen left in his system, Bud explains that he knew this was a one-way trip, and he tells Lindsay that he loves her. He says he knew this was a one-way trip, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like crying.
It's great.
As he waits for death, Jesus, Wikipedia, an NTI approaches Bud, takes his hand, and guides him into a massive alien city deep in the trench. Inside, the NTIs create an atmospheric pocket for Bud, allowing him to breathe normally. Then, the NTIs play back Bud's message for his wife and look at each other with understanding. In the extended edition, this is the one we watched, the events of the film are played against a backdrop of a conflict between the United States and Soviet Union with the potential for all-out war. The sinking of the Montana adds additional fuel to the fire. Additionally, there's more conflict between Bud and Lindsay in regard to their relationship. And the primary edition is the ending. When Bud is taken into an alien ship, the aliens begin by showing him images of war and aggression from news sources around the globe. The aliens create a massive tsunami that threatens the world's coast, but stops short before hitting it. Bud asks why they spared the humans, and then they show Bud his message to Lindsay and the alien ship, and then they bring both ships to the surface. On Deep Core, the crew is waiting for rescue when they see that Bud has met his friends, and he warns them to hold on. The base shakes. Lights from the trench herald the arrival of an alien ship. It rises to the ocean surface with Deep Core and several surface ships run aground in its hull. The crew exits. They are not dead from decompression, which is nuts. Incredible. And then they see Bud, and they hug him. And that's fucking The Abyss. An excellent motion picture.
Great motion picture.
A really... I can't express it enough. This is a journey of a movie. I went to the AMC Lincoln Square. I'd never even really heard of this movie, but they were doing the re-release, and I was like, I'm going. And I sat there in my seat just floored. It's so good when you don't know anything about it, which if you're listening to this, you know everything about it now. Sorry.
You do.
This
But
is also one of the earliest water simulations in a movie, right?
yes, all this kind of water stuff is James Cameron taking his water nerdism to the upteenth level. Anything else you guys want to say about The Abyss?
Oh man, that's a great question. I appreciate the recommendation. You threw it at us blind, and I went into it blind, and that's the best way to do it. It's the best way to do it.
Liv?
I liked it.
Don't go down there. Don't go
Okay.
down there.
Don't
Yeah,
go,
I wouldn't.
Don't
I
go
wouldn't
down
do
where?
it, but I like to watch it.
Don't go down where?
Ross? To the Abyss.
You were having a little panic set in there.
Yeah, I don't do well with water
No.
storms. So we had water and
Well,
a storm. So
Can I offer a theory as to why you don't do well with that? It's because you don't know the way of water. We're going to end this episode the way we end every episode. Does anyone have anything they want to plug?
That I want to plug.
Yeah, what do you want to plug?
Oh.
I have something I can plug while
Yeah?
we wait. Okay, on HBO Max right now, there is a television show starring Noah Wyle called The Pit. Oh my god. It is fan-fucking-tastic, The Pit. Everyone should be watching The Pit. Anyone watch ER here?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is it ER, but it's in Pittsburgh?
Exactly. But The Pit is also because they're on the bottom floor of the hospital. It's a kind of a double entendre.
Okay.
But it's ER meets 24. So it's on one shift at this hospital. 15 hours, 15 episodes. We're on episode, I think, 7 or 8 right now. But there's a whole bunch of different patients kind of going on that we're checking in with sporadically. But it's Noah Wyle, but he's the George Clooney now. And he has all these underling ER people that they're working with. It's excellent stuff. Highly, highly recommend The Pit.
Great plug.
It's a great plug.
All right, you guys got anything?
I would plug if you haven't checked out Apple TV's selection of television programs.
Ooh, we talking morning show?
I'm talking Shrinking. I'm
Shrinking
talking
and
Slow
stuff.
Horses. I'm talking Severance. I'm
Yeah.
talking. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
You've told me great things about Morning Show.
I will talk about Morning Show in another episode of this, so I won't do it over here. But Morning Show's a fucking banger. Everyone should be
Just
watching.
Apple TV, market a little bit more, you know? If you
Sure.
need someone to market for you, I'd be happy to take the job.
Hashtag hire Pat.
Hire me, please.
Please.
Liv's plug is to give Patrick a job.
Anyone has any help?
All right, guys, let's... This is embarrassing, guys. Come on.
Ross, anything you want to plug?
Go take a class at the Art Students League.
You get to play
It's a
with
league?
cadavers.
It's a league. Yeah. There's classes, there's workshops, there's things that are just like weekend intensives. It's very cool. It's very approachable. All levels welcome.
Are there
That's
any
about it.
classes without dead bodies?
Yeah, many. This
Okay.
class is quite. It's only offered twice a year. It's very, it's not something that's for the beginner.
Okay. Real sicko shit.
Real sicko shit.
Real sicko shit.
Bill Simmons sicko shit.
Well, it's cool. I mean, you get to figure out why the surface of the skin looks like it does because of the muscles underneath it.
Yeah. It's
You're looking pretty muscular over there.
me?
Yeah, you're cut, dog.
I've been having bodega food almost exclusively. so-
Bodega cat.
Full of
Anyway,
air.
Full of air. Exactly right. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Total Recall. Woo!
Bye.
Okay, that was Marriage on the Rocks week, and the verdict is in. The marriage is over. The week is done. Ugh. I'm gonna have to see other weeks now. You know who I hate this the most for? For the children, for the days. Monday I'll be able to handle it. They're tough Monday, but Tuesday? It's gonna be a tough one for Tuesday. Don't get me started on Thursday. This is a dumb bit. My thanks to Madeline, Pat, and Liv for kicking the season off in such spectacular fashion. You can see their recaps on Instagram now and their scores on Sunday. Ross at the art, Chase the music. My name is Jasper. Thanks for listening.